Welcome back to the to the risky. Okay, welcome back to the Ayo Who This podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Alexander.
Yo.
Today we have one goal in mind. We're gonna try to fall in love.
I'm hoping, bro.
I'm just kidding. So I found a test which is called the 36 questions for. Okay, apparently there's a lot of names for it, but it's basically this website calls it 36 questions for increasing closeness. So it's scientifically proven that two people who aren't too close to each other, after the end of these 36 questions, they're proven to end up being significantly a significant percentage of closer and more intimate to each other. So
yeah, and as you guys see from the videos, we hate each other, so we really need to make this work.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got some stuff to hash out, and I want to know what's going on in your mind and really dig deep.
Me too,
so,
dude.
Before we start, there's a couple of rules, and I'll go through them right here. I've got it all on this website. Shout out to ggia.berkeley.edu. You can find it. Just look up Berkeley 36 questions for increasing closeness. Mm-hmm. But rule number 1, identify someone with whom you'd like to become closer. Done. It could be someone you know well or someone you're just getting to know. Although this exercise has a reputation for making people fall in love, and it's hyperlinked, so you know they have sources and everything. It's true.
Yeah.
It's actually useful for anyone you want to feel close to, including family members, friends, and acquaintances. Before trying it, make sure both you and your partner are comfortable with sharing personal thoughts and feelings for each other. I've pretty much aired out 98% of my life on this podcast, so there's not too much left for me to say. Rule 2, find a time when you and your partner have at least 45 minutes free. Done.
GG's.
For 15 minutes, take turns asking one another the questions in set 1 below. Each person should answer each question, but in alternating order so that a different person goes for each time. So I'll have the questions up here. We'll alternate doing it. It does say to time it to stop you from getting too far in some questions, but I think we should just go ahead. I think we should just go raw. No timer needed. Just go ahead and ask the questions, and we'll figure out the timing.
Do it.
After 15 minutes, move on to set 2. Even if you haven't finished set 1 question, screw that. I don't like that.
It's dumb.
Yep, and then same thing for set 3. The 15-minute periods ensure that you spend an equivalent amount of time at each level of self-disclosure. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. Boilerplate. So I'm ready to just jump right into it if you are.
Bro.
You ready? First question? All right.
Yes.
So this is set 1, question number 1 of 36. Given the choice of anyone in the entire world, or anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest, alive or dead?
Alive or dead?
Alive or dead. Anybody in history?
My answer is very, stereotypical, but Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus.
Why's
for
that?
Sure. I want to see if he freaking, that'd be confirmation to whether he was or was not the Messiah, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if he was the Messiah, then I'm talking to God, it's great. Yeah. And if he wasn't, I can kind of ask him what he thought about everything and what he thinks about everything that's going on right now, and what he thought about everything that's going on right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess as long as Jesus existed, right?
Well,
I think he existed.
He did exist.
At the very least, there was somebody named Jesus who was saying stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of evidence to support, and this is getting into maybe something we shouldn't get into on this podcast.
Go ahead. The whole point of this is to hear your thought process and expand. So I'll tell you if you're going too far, of course, but for the most part, just keep talking, man. I'd love to hear.
Well, there's a lot of evidence that supports, if you look at the scholarship, there's a lot of evidence that supports that Jesus of Nazareth was a real dude who had a real ministry, and who really died on a cross and was crucified by Pontius Pilate.
Most likely it was black, right? I know a lot of people arguing about that, but that seems to be.
Yeah, he wasn't white.
At least back in the day,
he was a Jew, he wasn't white. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's something to know. But yeah, so he probably almost definitely existed. So I'd love to have a chat with him and see what's going on. What about you?
That's a good answer.
Or wait, are you supposed to answer them too?
Yeah. So we both answer the question, but we ask them in alternating order.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and I'll put the questions up right here just so you can go ahead and read them. If anyone in the world, alive or dead, I would probably choose Genghis Khan, if you know who that is. So Genghis Khan was, he just ruled basically all of, Asia at the time, all of Asia and Europe, and just this massive land, and he had thousands and thousands of offspring. I think it was either hundreds or thousands of children. I think it's thousands of children, which is awesome.
With one wife.
Yeah, poor wife, right? But no, it was definitely multiple wives, and it's crazy because you can go and look at features of people now around that area, and you can actually tell if they were a Genghis Khan descendant or not, which is crazy. Yeah, so there's for example, I think there's a there's like a little blue. There's like a blue dot you can get on your butt. Like it's just like on your butt cheek. You know what I mean? If you have a blue dot, there's like 99% chance you were Genghis Khan offspring.
Huh.
And so he took over all of this land. He had thousands of children. He led, I mean, the biggest army in comparatively in history. You know what I mean? Like percentage of the world. And I just think that's awesome to me. I would love to talk to him about that. I would love to talk to him and just figure out, first off, why he did it. Like, what was his actual reasons for doing it? And then second off, like, how did you do it? I mean, what are you thinking about? What do you think, as Genghis Khan, were your secrets to success in the world?
How do you think that, and what do you expect him to say as something that you could actually apply to your life? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I hope he speaks English, right? But
assuming he speaks English. Jesus doesn't speak English, so.
Right. I mean, what did they even speak back then?
Not English.
Well, definitely
Hebrew,
two different time
Greek,
periods,
yeah.
Jesus and Genghis Khan. But what was it? You said
Hebrew or
Hebrew?
Greek. I'm not sure. There's actually contention in the scholarship. But,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
think subtext in the question, assuming you speak the same language,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
And I feel like it would just be an awkward dinner where he's just grunting and eating the meat with his hands, and I'm sitting there like, what are you doing, Genghis Khan? But I think if I were to, my goal with that dinner is a lot less about improving my life. I think maybe 10-20% is just like, listen, he was a leader, and there's stuff you can learn about how you can improve your life based on that. But 80-90% of it is just, I'm just really curious about his mindset being the leader, and he's like the one person to ask about that. So so it's just curious for me. What's the mindset of being king, where you feel like you rule pretty much the world? You know what I mean? Like, what's it like to have ultimate power in this world? King of the world, basically. I mean, he was pretty much king of the world, which is crazy. Crazy to say.
Gotcha.
But I guess that's what my answer is.
All right, question 2. Your
Yeah.
computer's off.
Oh, sorry about that. Let me pull up the computer.
While he's
right
doing
here.
that, I would love to direct your guys' attention to the subscribe button at the bottom of your screen, and tell you guys that we have a whole other YouTube channel where we upload entertainment content. Had a video uploaded not moments yesterday that was building furniture with no instructions. Very good video. You should check it out.
Amazing video.
Anyways, okay, would you like to be famous, and if so, in what way?
I don't like being on camera, so no, I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah, so I guess depending on the stage of life you ask me, my answer would be different. Like, for example, a couple of years ago, I really had the mindset of like, I would rather be remembered infamous than not remembered at all. You know what I mean? Like, even if it was a bad thing, that's better than not being remembered at all. And so the older I get, the less that I think that that's actually true. First off, I definitely would rather be not remembered at all than be remembered to be doing something horrible, like to be remembered infamously. Like, that mindset's definitely changed since then. I still think that I want to be famous in a way. I do have that, absolutely. But I guess this is a little bit of off question, but I do YouTube more because I enjoy it than actually like being famous and expecting to pop off. You know what I mean? So I would like to be famous, but there's also like some things with that I just don't see myself fully enjoying. You know what I mean? Like, I like kind of having the freedom to, well, first off, to do whatever I want, and not have people know where I am at all times, and kind of have the security of that. And that's a lot harder to get when you're famous. It's definitely not impossible. I think there's a lot of celebrities out there that do have their own personal lives and kind of keep away from the public, but a lot of celebrities, especially the bigger you get, like, it's just almost impossible to walk outside. And I'm actually not worried about the fans. Like, I'm totally, if I were to get famous, I'd be okay with the fans coming up and talking to me and walking. But I don't love the paparazzi culture, especially in America. I think probably the rest of the world too. But I just don't really like that culture. I don't want somebody at 3 a.m. recording my house. So there's some downsides that if I were to get famous, I wouldn't be the most excited for, but I do think that I would like to get famous. But the older I get, the less that's a requirement in my life, I'll say. So that's my answer. What about you?
I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes. Mainly because of what that means. I think being famous would mean that I succeeded at YouTube,
Oh,
and that would be
one more thing. on my
that would be
answer.
amazing.
Maybe.
That would be dream. That would be GG's for me. And so I gotta stop saying that, bro. I'm saying that too much. I think that would definitely be so for what it represents. Yes, and also you can leverage a lot with being famous, especially with like with the way the world's heading with AI and everything. There's only a few things that are going to be able to maintain through this changing time period that we're in. And the more that I'm learning about AI, the more that I'm seeing that there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of jobs that are just not going to exist anymore. And I think that I would have infinite leverage opportunity as somebody who's famous, and I'm willing to take the trade-off of like less privacy and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
People knowing your name is the best door opener.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. And so, but strictly because, well, not strictly because, but the number one reason is because that would mean YouTube worked out, and so that'd be great.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
That'd be
That's
great.
a good way to put it.
You said you had another point.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like I think the one reason maybe why you would want to is like, or at least I don't know. It's hard to speak about other people, but purely personally, I always found it a little bit important. Like even if you die in person, as long as you're remembered, you live on. And if you do get famous, that it ends up being like you end up being remembered for longer and
For a little bit of time. Yeah, I think
Right.
it's more about
Depends
how
on
you
what
got
get
famous.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like
Depends on what you got famous for.
Not Isaac Newton. Albert Einstein, his name will be forgotten eventually, but E equals MC squared is the foundation for everything we'll ever do in space ever for the rest of ever. You know what I mean? And so he will be...
You said what, Albert Einstein?
Albert Einstein, yeah. He will be remembered...
Like you said Isaac Einstein.
I may have. I'm sorry. Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein? Wait.
Yeah,
Albert Einstein. That's the dude.
Isaac Newton was gravity.
His work will be used forever, forever. You know what I mean? And Isaac Newton as well. And there's a couple of people like that. I think Jesus is also one of them. His teachings will live on forever, in some way, shape, or form. I don't think it's unfair to say that if Jesus never existed, maybe this is unfair to say, but or at least if the character of Jesus was never created as it was in the Bible, America would not have a lot of what it has today as far as like
I'm sure.
morals and structures, because I mean, you know, maybe not so much anymore, but fundamentally America was a Christian nation at one point. And so all of that to say, I kind of lost my main point. What was I saying?
We were talking about being famous, but actually I'm down to like that's I think a great conversation. I think that's like a good 30-minute conversation of like if we didn't have religion, how would things be different?
Exactly.
Now?
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what
It's
I mean?
like there aren't
I'd love to
really
talk about
too
that.
many nations in the world, if really any, like substantial nations that weren't foundationalized on any type of religion.
I'm gonna write that down as a pod idea, or like as a idea for one of our future pods, because I actually would love to talk about that. It's just like a hypothetical, you know, what would happen if what would happen, or what would the world be like?
I think I honestly think it would be a lot worse off. I think there's a lot of conversation in the space of whether religion is a net positive or a net negative, and they're saying that while being in a fundamentally religious culture, like America was foundationalized on religion, a lot of other places in the world were foundationalized on some type of religion or deity, and without that directional axis, I don't know how they would have been created.
Okay.
But yeah,
I get that. That's a good answer.
hit the next question.
Yeah, you ready? Okay, I think it's my turn to ask. So, before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're gonna say and why?
Not for like
Sorry.
not for like social telephone calls, social phone calls, but when I used to do sales calls, obviously you would know exactly what you're gonna say. If you're doing like an interview on Zoom, you obviously you obviously come prepared with a relative understanding of what they're gonna say and how you're gonna respond. But no, not for social stuff. What about you?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I never do it. It definitely. Yeah, you guys might hear the bird up there. I'm
Whatever.
sorry. He's literally directly above us on the lowest branch, as close as
Can't
he can to
believe it,
us,
bro.
just laughing at us.
How's that possible?
Yeah.
Shut up.
You want to join? Nope.
All right, whatever.
But sorry. What was the question? It was. Oh yeah.
Before
okay.
making a telephone call, do you reherse what you're gonna say?
That's
and
right.
why?
So it definitely depends on who I'm talking to. Like if it's my close family or like my boys or you, like Well, actually, you're a little bit different because like with work, I'll prepare stuff beforehand, but I'll just call them up. I'll be like, "Yo, what's going on?" And then I'll figure out why I even called them, you know. But I'd say I do it a little bit for social aspects, probably more than what you were saying. If we keep looking up, this bird is messing with us.
He's gonna poop on our head.
It's gonna hit the laptop. But yeah, I'd say I think about it a little bit beforehand. I mean, first off, like what I'm talking about, and like, I mean, everybody like has a topic they're talking about, like why they're calling. So that one's obvious. But like I'll think of a couple of things that I want to talk about, and then like, okay, once we're done talking about this, like, what do I even say? You know what I mean? And I do be thinking about that sometimes. Some people, I don't know. Some people call it overthinking. I think overthinking is a little bit more specific. It's a little bit different than that. But I think for the most part, it's helped me in social situations. Like I come almost prepared, you know. And we were actually, as we were setting up this podcast, we were driving to our location today. We were talking about like just how we act in social relationships, and I was like, I'm almost autistic in the way that I do my social relationships. And I still think that's true. Like I try to put like systems and everything on it, and so I will think of a little bit of how the phone call will be structured and how I want it to be structured, like how I want to lead the phone call. So I'll think about it a little bit, you know.
Cool.
And then with interviews, of course, you're going to. With teachers, of course, you're going to. Well, some people don't with teachers, but I do. Yeah, like if you ever have to call a teacher or email a teacher or something.
Oh, yeah.
Email is definitely different. But,
Oh,
if you ever have to call a teacher or something, you know, you'll think about what you want to say. Or even, not even like calling, like if you ever, like in college, a lot of times you'll have to wait until after class and you'll have some questions for the teacher. And like for 15, 30 minutes before the class ends, I'm thinking like, okay, how is this going to go? Do I shake his hand or do I dap him up? You know, like obviously,
the teacher.
Yeah. But, you know, like I definitely think about it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Sick.
You ready for the next one?
Next one.
Yep.
What would constitute a perfect day for you? Well, this is an interesting one.
Okay. It's a good question. I would say that a perfect day starts... see, that's hard, because a perfect day in my mind would start at like 8 a.m. and me waking up and being happy. But I know that I'm not going to wake up at 8 a.m. and be happy. So realistically, it's waking up at like 9 or 10 a.m. with a smile on my face next to my 10 out of 10 smoking hot wife. I guess it's perfect day. So I'll go into like what I want and how it'll look. Let's see. A perfect day would be, waking up in a nice bed next to my wife. That day, we go out for breakfast with the kids to this really nice Waffle House. No. I'm messing. I mean, by then I feel like we'll probably have enough money to afford Denny's. So we'll probably get just some nice pancakes, because I love breakfast food. That's my favorite meal of the day. I'll get some nice pancakes. The kids can get whatever they want. I don't really care about the kids. I'll tell you, in my perfect day, and I'll love my kids. I'll love my kids. I haven't had my kids yet. I'll love them.
Keep in mind,
you probably won't hear them You probably won't hear them too much in this perfect day. So if you ever look just like, oh, you're forgetting your kids. No, I'm not. They're doing their own thing. You know what I mean? And then after breakfast, I head out and I meet up with my boys, and we, because I can afford it now, hit Topgolf and just practice for a little bit. You know what I mean? No, not even a golf course, just like Topgolf. And then I head back home with my boys, and they're all in like houses next to me. You know what I mean? So they're like when I say heading home, like when I say we're heading home, we're all heading pretty much to the same place. And then we drive a little bit. I call my boy like 10 minutes before we get there. I'm like, hey, pull the sailing boat out, like we're gonna go out for a little bit. You know what I mean? Eduardo, pull it up. And he's just like, so yes, sir. So he pulls it out, and then we get in the sailboat, and I guess I can't say it's a multiple day trip because this is the perfect day, but we sail to this island.
Is it dark at this point?
No, this is like before lunch.
Oh God.
I'm talking about perfect day. I'm really getting into this, you know what I mean? I'll speed it up a little bit. So we get to this island. It's got like palm trees. There's nobody on it. There's no bugs or anything. It's just like perfect water. So we're swimming around. We're looking at the fish, and then we have lunch there. Like Eduardo, he actually cooks us lunch on the sailboat.
Eduardo.
We're all swimming out, and we get to the island, and Eduardo's like, yo, like ding, 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 ding. You know, lunch is ready. So we all swim back. We eat some amazing sandwiches, and then we head back home. I play some Rocket League probably, or whatever the game is by then. And then we probably will either fly or helicopter or
teleport.
Yeah. I'm assuming by then, because it's a house and like all the boys are living next to each other. This is a nice house, you know, so it's gonna be next to a nice area. So the nice restaurants are gonna be close to me anyways. So if you guys actually remember from the last podcast, I was talking about ultralight aircrafts. I'm just gonna go out to my runway out back, hop in my one-seater, you know what I mean, and pull up to the restaurant. Like I'm pulling up to Conky, and you know, if they got a big parking lot, I'm there. If the parking lot's big enough, so I have some nice Conky dinner. They throw the steak in my mouth, I catch it, you know, all that stuff. They love me there. I tip them nicely. I head home. I see my kids for the first time today. No, I'm just kidding. I saw them at breakfast, if you guys remember. And then I watch my show for a little bit. I sit with my wife on the couch. The kids are actually, they went to bed already, so this is like maybe 11:30 p.m. It's just me and my wife. We watch an episode or two of some good anime, because my wife and I love anime, and I know my wife will, so we'll watch some good anime, and then we'll head to bed. And that's my perfect day. I really got into that.
Day, bro.
Yeah.
Mine is not that extensive, bro.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be until I had no plans. Yeah. It all started with a smoking hot 10 out of 10 wife, and that was the only plan I had when I started talking about it, by the way.
Perfect.
So go ahead. That's my perfect day.
I think my day's boringer, but I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
So I like to wake up in my...
Good start.
Yeah, bro. So far,
I wake up.
So far, so good. Wake up.
Yeah.
And then I wake up obviously next to my wife, who, you know, hopefully I don't hate. That would be good. And then we wake up early.
It's a perfect day.
Yeah.
You really got to think about it.
We hit the gym together. We get, you know what I mean? Forgot about that. Yeah.
Wow.
We go to like, there's like gyms in our area, but we specifically pick a gym further away so we can have like a morning together. You know
house
what I mean? I'd have to think about it, but we'll say no for now. We'll hit a Planet Fitness.
Okay.
And then
with infinite money, he hits the Planet Fitness.
And then we hit a workout together. You know, we got our splits like in sync. You know what I mean? So we're doing the same stuff.
Nice.
And then we go back to the house.
So romantic.
She's like getting ready, take the kids to school and stuff. I hop on work. Now I'm hopping on work for about 4 to 6 in the morning, and then by 12:30. It's lunchtime.
Okay.
The wife's doing what she's doing. I don't know. This isn't my wife's perfect day. She comes back. We have lunch together. You know what I mean? We have lunch together for about an hour or so. I take...
Homemade? Or are you guys going out for lunch? Because your kids are at school right now.
Ooh, yeah. We're going out.
Are you done with work for the day?
We'll order in. We'll order in, okay?
Nice.
And then we'll order in, and then we got lunch. And so now from 12, shut up, bro. Shut up. And now from 12:30 to 1:30, we're debriefing for lunch. You know what I mean? Me and her. And then from 1:30 to 2:30, who knows, bro? Who knows? Just a blank slate. And then from 2 on to like
if you could do anything in the whole world, what would you want to do? Watch TikTok? Or?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Maybe we'll just say from 1:30. From 1:30 on to like 6:30, 7:30, maybe even 8:30. I'm filming, bro. For the YouTube,
nice.
I'm filming.
My bad.
I'm getting stuff locked in.
Yeah.
I'm getting stuff at the film. And now after filming at 8 o'clock, I am getting all my friends together. The wife's not coming. This is just me and the boys. We're going out. We're doing whatever we do. It changes every night. I'd like to go golfing, but it's 8 p.m. So maybe Top Golf, maybe Drive Shack, maybe something of the sort. We'll go out. I'll get back 11, 12. I'll see the wife. We'll go to sleep. And then we'll wake up and do it again.
Nice.
My day's simple.
It's a good
like
day.
that.
Yeah, there's 2 things that you had that I didn't even think of that's totally I would add. One is the gym. I would totally add that at the end of my day. And 2 is filming. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, bro. I was thinking about it while you were talking. My perfect day absolutely consists of most of the day
I would have
doing
some
work.
filming. Yeah.
Most of the day. And then at the nighttime, I can you know, take the time off.
By then, I'd already be rich and successful and famous. But I'd still probably be doing some
I mean, I'll be working. I'll be working for the rest of my life.
Yeah, see, that's where we're different.
Yeah, you want to retire. I don't.
Yeah. That's insane to me.
I want to pick a career that I never want to retire from.
Really? Mm-hmm. Man, so we're already almost like 25 minutes in, and we're on question 5 out of 36.
So far, so
this
good.
Might be a
We're not gonna finish
two-parter, depending. Yeah.
We could do a two-parter.
Mm-hmm. You ready for the question 5? Oh, okay. When did you last sing to yourself and also to someone else? Like two separate.
I want that day to happen
times.
now. Anyways, when have I sung to myself?
Yeah. When did you last sing to yourself, and when did you last sing to someone else?
I probably sang to my sister when I was like mimicking her doing something stupid, and then.
How long ago was that?
Oh, probably like last time I saw her was probably like 3 months ago, so
okay.
Probably then, maybe 2 months ago. But I'd never sing to myself.
Really?
Never. I don't think I ever have in my life, probably. What about you?
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely in the last week. It's probably in the past couple of days. So today's Tuesday. You guys will be seeing this on a Thursday probably, or whenever you watch it, but we upload on Thursdays. Every Thursday, check it out. And I was at the apartment and I had the speaker on Sunday. I was listening to Maroon 5 by Sunday Morning. Mm-hmm. Great song.
Oh wait, are we
listening
counting
to
like?
It by myself.
Oh, are we counting? Oh, okay.
Walking around the apartment.
I guess
singing.
earlier. Never mind. Keep going.
Really, I was walking around the apartment and singing. But while I'm thinking, what were you gonna say?
I didn't know we were counting like singing like to a song. I thought we were just counting singing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Singing to a song, I'll do that in the car.
Oh, I assume
I'll do it in the car often. Yeah, my fault. Keep going.
Oh, I probably sung on the way coming back here because I drove down from my college to here today. So I probably sung today. Mm-hmm. So that's probably my answer. To someone else, I mean, if it's to a song, like probably last week when I was hanging out with my friend and we were in the car. I mean, we always have music going and it's always the songs we like. So I was singing along with it. So last week, I mean, very often. Singing like without music, that's probably a different question. But I think we got that question for the most part.
Cool. On to the next.
Yeah, so I think...
if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life... Last 60 years of your life? You're 90.
Okay.
Which would you want? I don't understand.
So I think it's like from 30 onwards, would you rather keep your body as 30 or keep your mind as 30 until you die at 90? So... if I have to choose between either keeping my body and as a 30-year-old.
Wait, when we say mind, do we mean like mind health or mind like education? I'm thinking mind health, right?
What do you like? Yeah, like
health, not like you can still learn new things past 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you won't be getting dementia, you won't be getting slower.
Easy
with
question. Easy
speed.
question.
See, 30 is already a little bit past like your prime for both of those things. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, barely.
Like I think it's more past your physical prime than it is your mental prime. But I've talked about this on podcasts before, I also have something called hemophilia, so if I start bleeding I won't stop. And I don't really want to have that when I'm older. You know what I mean? So I might choose keeping a 30-year-old body for the rest of my life. Just so I can continue to, even though I know my mind, I know I'm getting older, my mind's getting older, and my mind's getting slower, I can still go out and do all of the things that I wanted to do when I was young. Like I'm still able to go wind surfing. I'm still able to go like parachuting. I can still run upstairs. I can still travel, even though my mind's slower. My body can still do everything that I want to do. So I can still go out and do all these active things, even though my mind may be getting older and slower. That's my answer. I'd choose body. Maybe it'd be different without hemophilia, but what's your answer?
Yeah, mine's different. Mine's mind for sure, 100 million %. 1 million %. Because you can more or less do your best to maintain a relatively, like a lot of the bodily harms that people go through at like 50 and 60, which I know this is 90, but 50 and 60 is more like self-induced from the rest of like their life, and then 90 it's like, okay, your body's kind of screwing up a little bit. But I know a lot of old people who like their memory is so bad to where it's like I will tell them a time when I'm like leaving or something, and I'll have to tell them probably 4 or 5 times in the span of like 4 or 5 hours, just because, and one person specifically, he remembers that I told him, but he just doesn't remember the time, and it's extremely frustrating. And like you mentioned, like dementia and everything, a sound mind I can figure the rest out. You know what I mean? But if I have that, it's like I'm chilling. I'm good. I can eat healthy and exercise a lot and stretch, and my body will be okay. Will I be able to run around at 90? No, but I'm willing to take that sacrifice. For sure. 100%. 1,000,000%. Easy
Yeah.
W question. Okay, on to the
W
next
question. Yeah. Different opinions. You can make your own choice by yourself as a viewer. But question 7: do you have a secret hunch about how you'll die, bro? You get the easy questions. I feel like I'm not gonna lie.
Secret hunch about how I die. I'll
Yeah.
probably.
How do you think you're gonna die?
I think it'll be accidental. Like I'll be like, I don't know. Like I'll judge a jump that I can make,
What
and
do
I
you mean?
won't
Well, that
make
sounds
it.
almost well, I guess accidental.
That's it'd be like, I think it'd be misjudgment, you know what I mean? Like I think I can do something when I can't, and I would, or like just tripping off a mountain or something, bro. Something stupid, something like that, or heart disease with all this caffeine I'm drinking.
Heart disease.
One of those two. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I am hoping that, I think first thought is like hemophilia, you know, because those people just don't tend to live longer than other people. Like average, I think, age that they die to is like something like 65, something like that, which isn't amazing. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I need to do more
That's
research on
interesting.
that, but I think it might not be 65, but I think it's lower, like a significantly lower than
average life expectancy is like
expectancy.
72, 73.
Yeah, and so with the way hemophilia is going right now, I think by the time I'm maybe roughly, like by the time I'm 25, definitely 30, 35, I think they'll have an affordable cure to hemophilia. As in, they have a cure right now. It's just too expensive.
They do?
Yeah, they do. It's like if I want to go do it, I could do it right now. They could go mess with my DNA. I think it's like $2 million if I wanted to do it. I think I talked to the doctors like a year or two ago. They offered it to me. But if that's the case, I think I probably won't be dying from hemophilia, because by the time I die, I don't know if I'm going to actually have it anymore. They might have cured it by then. So it's probably nothing like that. But I'm a pretty stupid guy. I mean, like, honestly,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm stupid, but I also, like, for the most part, I'm a safe stupid. Like, I'll do stupid things, but I know that it's stupid and I'm allowing myself to do it. So I don't think it's going to be like falling off a cliff or anything stupid like that. I'll probably die from probably old age, just because I it's not that I didn't care for my body, but it wasn't like the highest on my list. So probably some self-induced thing that I did. You know what I mean? That's the best I could give you right now. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't, or at least it's not been long enough. So I'll figure it out as life goes on. I don't have anything very specific, but that's my answer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can go ahead with the next question if you want.
Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common.
Appear
I
to
guess
have in
I guess
common.
us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever it says partner, it'll be me and you.
Cool. 3 things we have in common.
Man, you're my partner, huh? Okay, so it's my
you
answer,
go.
right? Well, is that true? Did you? Yeah. So name 3 things that we appear to have in common. I would
got
actually probably have an easier time saying how we're different.
Yeah, me too. We're very, very different.
Yeah, and actually, I for the most part, I like that in my friends. Like,
Yeah.
is we're pretty different. But I think that we have, for the most part, I think we have similar structures, or not structures, but like how we approach social interactions. I think I can see a lot of similarities sometimes when you're talking to somebody and when I'm talking to somebody, kind of just like, oh, I do that same thing. And when we're talking about it, you kind of have similar mindsets to me sometimes. So that's one. I think that there's the first one, is I think we have similar factions and social interactions. Second, we're tall white guys. You know, I won't have that as a start. Second one is a little bit more low key. I think we get really excited over like small, stupid, like electronic things. I don't know if that's what you thought I was gonna say, but like just going out and like going to a store and finding if it says tactile electronic something, it's really like we find that kind of stuff fascinating. I think that's really cool. Like just cool electronics, and like even AI is kind of, well, I guess that's different. That's not like a small thing, but
So big.
but just kind of us getting excited about just the future and innovations in general. I really like that aspect about us. And third, kind of going along with that one, but I think it's different, is just our general like love of learning. Like you don't see that with everybody, and that's a big thing for me. Like, do you enjoy learning about new things? You know, and I think we both have that. I think you definitely have that, and I like to think I have that. So those are my three things: similar social interactions, than the other two.
So for me, I think we have similar senses of humor.
Oh yeah.
And I think we've been told from related parties that we have similar senses of humor. I think we have similar goals as far as like where we want to take the channel and stuff. Maybe, super long term you want to retire, I don't. But as far as like short to mid to relatively long, we have similar goals, I hope. Because if not, and then 3 is where I'm struggling.
Yeah. I'll say while you're thinking, I don't even think it's like the worst thing in the world for us to have different goals, like life goals. You know what I mean? But channel, as long as we can make the channel work out, like I'm totally fine with you. If anything, I want you to go find your goal and
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's what you.
The goals need to be aligned for the channel though.
Right. Absolutely.
Number 3, I think. Bro, I'm actually
totally agree with the sense of humor one, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's a while you're thinking, that's a well crafted from years of, since we've met in elementary school. Like we always found the same things funny, but now like what the jokes we make, you know what I mean, guys? Like from these years, we've crafted our perfect senses of humor. So yeah. But yeah, go ahead with your third if you have one.
We're both tall white guys. I don't know. We both have a sport that we do.
Wow.
That's all I got, bro. Okay. Next question.
Bet. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
For what in your life do you feel the most grateful?
Where I was born. Easy answer. Like how I was born, where I was born. Like just the circumstances of my birth. Like the parents I was born with, the location I was born in.
Oh, like what you were born into.
Like what I was born into. Like the luck that I have is more than anything I've ever. That's literally I literally won $1,000,000 gamble, and so not even a gamble, just the game I didn't even know I was playing, and so definitely that. The circumstances of my birth.
GG's on being the fastest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But. Yeah, sorry, were you done? I don't want to.
I'm done.
Okay. Actually, my answer is going to be similar to yours. It's being born into having a mom as a nurse with hemophilia. I'll say that. Like that was, there were I could have been born into any family with hemophilia, but the fact that my mom was a nurse and was prepared to like stick me 3 times a week and like go through all the surgeries and everything, I think that was just, I'm probably just other than like the answer that you'd have as well, like the circumstances of my birth, I would say specifically that is what I'm most grateful for. I mean, that's just massive, super, super lucky for me. I'm grateful that I was born into that.
Shout out parents, bro.
Shout out W parents. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that's a good one.
Okay. For what in life do you feel most grateful? Is that the one you just asked? Yep. Okay. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? Okay.
If I could change anything about the way that I was raised, that's a good question. I've actually been thinking about this. The reason that I haven't been vocal about my thoughts on this is because I don't know if my opinion is going to change over time. But from the past year or two, I've actually been thinking that it may have been better if my parents actually put me into some type of religion when I was a younger kid, just to understand a little bit more of how it was and kind of have that form as a kid, and then as an adult give me the option to choose what I want. Like throughout my whole life, we never really went to church. We never, like my grandparents, they go to church, or at least my grandparents on my mom's side, they're big Christians, and like for as long as my mom lived there, they went to church every Sunday. Like they still do it. My grandpa coordinates the church stuff, you know.
Is he pastor?
No, he's not pastor. He does like a lot of the background stuff, cool. Like how the sermons work.
Yeah.
But when she moved in with my dad, like my dad never really did that kind of stuff, and they kind of just stopped really doing it for us as well. So I never really went to church. I was never really in a religion, and so my opinion may change later in life, but I think it actually might have been more beneficial rather than less to put me into an organized religion when I was younger.
It's actually really interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I get that.
For me, I think I should have been raised with a bit more consequences for my actions, you know?
That would have been my answer if it wasn't religion.
I got away with a lot of stuff I shouldn't have gotten away for, and I even feel...
Do you still feel that now?
Like, what do you mean? Like I'm getting away with stuff I shouldn't be getting away with?
Yeah. For the
No,
most part,
I don't feel with that now. More so because I'm confident in what I'm doing. But like before, when I knew I was doing wrong things and I was still doing them, they would ground me for a little bit and then just kind of give me everything back, you know? I think I needed a bit more of of consequences for my actions. And I'll tell a story to kind of prove support my point. When I failed all my classes in middle school, and I just wasn't didn't want to do it, whatever. And then this is the first time they really actually like fully punished me for a thing that I did. They were gonna give me a graduation present, and then I think they said, I really can't even remember it that well, but I think they said something along the lines of, listen, we were gonna get you something, but we're not very proud of what you did, and we don't think you deserve anything. And they just didn't give me anything. And I got like some money from like cousins and stuff, but they point blank said they were gonna get me something and they didn't, you know what I mean? And that's one of the greatest things they could have ever done for me, because literally completely changed the way that I thought. I was like, oh shoot, it changed everything, you know what I mean? And whether that's the reason that I started doing well in school or not, I don't know. I really don't know, but it was definitely a contributing factor.
Yeah.
And that was huge for me.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
So discipline for me. Or maybe not so discipline, just consequences for my actions.
Consequences.
Like
for your
actions have consequences that can't be reversed ever. You know what I mean?
You think they could have done that more, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something I had to learn, that sometimes, and it's so important to know the actions that you're making as a person, because there are actions that can be reversed with like an I'm sorry, like those do exist, but there are also actions that you take and you cannot reverse them, and there will be consequences for the rest of your life, and you will have, I guess, regret and sadness and grief for the actions that you took, you know what I mean? And there will never be a way to get what you lost back, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? And that's something I've learned, I feel, but yeah,
absolutely. That's a great answer. You ready for the next question?
Let's hit it.
All right, sounds good. While I'm pulling this next question up, I just want to say I love, it may be worse for the reviews, I love the area we're doing.
I do too.
I just want to say I love just being outside.
I'm curious how the sound's going to work.
Yeah, I was going to say if the sound is okay and like the lighting's okay and everything, and that camera lasts for an hour,
might come back here.
then yeah, I'd rather just do it from outside.
Me too.
All right, so we did the grateful question. That was number 9, and then number 10 was the change anything. We did that one. So now we're on take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible.
Ooh.
Do you want to do this one?
Maybe we skip this one.
Okay.
Because this
is a good one.
it's too much. Yeah.
I get that. If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be? Good question. So that could be like superpower or just anything that fits that. Anything.
Let's not say superpower to keep this more real. I mean, do you want to say superpower?
Well, that would have been one of my answers. I have a specific one in mind.
Okay, I'm not gonna say superpower, but you can say superpower.
It's a power. It's super if you want to think it like that. You know, it depends on how you use it.
Okay. For me, it would be complete control, complete separation over.
Sounds OP. Sorry, go ahead.
Sounds OP. What do you mean?
I don't even know what it is yet.
Complete separation of my brain and my feelings and my actions. Complete separation.
Really?
And so I'm getting very close to that now. But like being able to feel something and just act just anyways, you know what I mean? And I'm getting better and better and better at that, but just like completely like cancel out zero. Like I feel this thing and I don't care. I'm still going to do this thing. I'm still going to stick to the plan 100% of the time. You know what I mean?
I see.
And I think that, so that's my answer.
That's a good answer.
What's your superpower?
hear me out. Now, I say this so people get a general idea of what kind of the idea that I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be exactly what his is, but I think it would be awesome, freaking awesome, to have some sort of like spidey sense. Yeah.
Like danger sense?
Yes, exactly. Where something's coming, you're like, oh,
Shoot,
something's coming.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Shoot.
And it doesn't even have to be like, if you've watched Spider-Man, it's more than just like, oh, something's about to hit me, I need to move. Like, it's just like general sense, like if somebody's lying, they're like, oh crap, oh, something, danger, you know? Or like, what was the, it wasn't Far From Home, I think it was the one after that where it ended up with all the Spider-Mans in
Yeah,
there.
No Way Home.
Yeah, where the villains, they ended up going back to his house for a while, and for like 30 minutes, like for that whole time, the sense was going off. So it's not like something immediate. It can even be something that's going to happen in a little bit. So I think a sense like that, to just be like, duck, or just another voice in my head to tell me the important things that I can't
so
catch
cool,
on to
bro.
yet would be awesome.
It'd be
to me.
awesome.
That would be so cool. So that's my answer.
That would be a cool
is
power.
Spidey sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a cool power.
So, wait, so are we? Is that the last one in the?
Is it? Oh yeah, it is. It
Okay,
is.
so we're the last one on the set. So now we're on to set 2, which the only difference between the sets is the different like they're just harder, like deeper questions the more you go on. You're supposed to like do them on a timer, and that's why they have them separated into sets. But we're just gonna do them on our own time.
Okay,
So,
is it my turn?
yeah. So I think yeah, you read.
If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
So it would tell me anything
you
that I want to know.
about
Period.
your future, yeah.
I said anything else, so it sounds like it would just
Oh.
tell you anything you want to know, period.
Okay, so anything you want to know, period.
Huh.
Okay, well that's my easy answer.
Okay. So it seems like you already have an answer, but I think that my answer, and I say this because I don't think that we're going to figure out how it happened as humanity in my lifetime, so I don't think that I'm ever going to figure this out in my lifetime, but how did the universe really begin? I'm really curious. I don't think I'm ever going to know in my whole life, so if something can actually tell me, I think that'd be great. That's my answer. It's very simple. It's probably a pretty obvious answer,
Yeah.
but that's definitely mine.
Bro, easy answer.
I'm
Was
curious, yeah.
Jesus killed on the cross? And
Was he killed
was he
on the
resurrected on the cross? Sorry. Was he resurrected on the cross? That's easy answer, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's like, then you know how the universe was started, all that stuff, bro. Easy answer.
Fair.
Easy answer.
Well, if they say no, you still don't know how it started. If they say
I'm
yes, you do.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm
If
okay with
if they
that.
say yes, it explains pretty much everything. But if
Yeah.
they say no, I guess it still explains a lot.
Yeah, it does explain a lot.
But it still could be that there still could be a higher power. Like it just could mean that
It wasn't
that one was
Christianity.
wrong.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I still
so
keep my answer though,
You still keep your answer.
100%.
All right. Cool. You ready for question 14? Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time, and why why haven't you done it? Question mark.
Skydive.
Really?
Just haven't had the. I don't know. I just haven't. You know. But I've always wanted to.
Do you see yourself doing it?
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. I'll do it eventually.
I gotcha.
But skydiving for me. What about you?
Have you ever heard of the Vomit Comet? I'll
No.
explain it anyways.
Okay.
So the Vomit Comet is, and you'll know why they call it this later, but it's basically this plane that it doesn't have many seats. There's only a couple of seats. It goes up to pretty much the edge of space, and it just goes straight down.
So you float.
And so you're floating for a good like couple of minutes, and you do it for a couple of times. And they call it the Vomit Comet because everybody vomits
does
like
sound
going
fun.
up and down.
That does sound fun.
But either go like Vomit Comet or go in space, but that's probably less feasible. I guess I could say that because the question is pretty much anything. But maybe later in my life it'll probably be cheaper to go into space. It probably will be affordable when I'm like 60. You know what I mean? But Vomit Comet until then.
Dude, honestly, I might want to change my answer. That's a really.
Really?
I really want to do
That
that
and
too.
then skydiving.
Yeah, I'll do that and then just jump out of the plane.
After the third time going, you're like, I'm bored of this.
I just jump out of the plane.
backpack.
Yeah. All right. Are you going or mine?
I asked you that last one.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah.
What is the greatest accomplishment of your life? Holy.
In my entire life?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Now, the first thing, and you're gonna laugh
Oh
at this.
god, here we freaking
The first
go.
thing, I have a serious answer to this, but the first thing that came to mind was actually the Rubik's Cube competition in 4th grade. Can you believe that? Like, the first thing you asked, like, I swear on everything, that was the first thing that I thought of. The greatest accomplishment in my life was probably for Boy Scouts hiking what they call Philmont. It's in New Mexico. We did like 85 miles in 10 days. So that was probably the greatest accomplishment, just finishing that trip. Because there was a time where I'd hurt my leg, and I genuinely, like, after I did my medication, I was really, really, really close to heading home. I was just like, I don't know if this is good for me to do, like with hemophilia, you know. And so I was really close to heading home. So the fact that I finished that was probably, at least personal accomplishments, probably the biggest one in my life.
Cool. Okay.
What about you?
I have a...
Damn.
No, I have one.
You have too many, huh?
Yeah, I have one. I have two. Many. No, I have two, but I'm gonna say this one.
Okay.
This is gonna sound kind of stupid, but it's, you know, whatever.
It's fine.
There's another one. No, but probably passing my classes in school, just
one.
because of that, what that represents.
Was there
Like
a specific grade?
Ninth is when I started passing, and I got C. I literally was a trajectory. I got C's in 9th, B's in 10th, A's in 11th and 12th, and now I'm failing college. No, I'm kidding. But just because of what it represented for me, like I literally used to be completely on the opposite sides of like feelings versus actions. Like, it was all feelings, and you know, the more I'm getting older, the more I'm getting better, the more that it's shifting towards actions instead of feelings. You know what I mean?
Do you think that you were aware it was feelings?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That's something I understand only in retrospect. But I wasn't really thinking at that level at that point. In 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah, I hear that's a pretty common. A lot of people like just think with their emotions in general. And
Yeah.
it takes people a while to even notice that they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. That sounds pretty common.
Like letting emotions guide behavior instead of
I've always
the
been
plan
weird with
guide
that,
behavior.
So, yeah.
And so the more like it started a ripple effect of like, I'm getting so good now at like letting actions guide behavior or letting the plan guide behavior instead of feelings, that it's like, if that never happened, I would have never gotten here.
Yeah.
And so
I feel like I say this every podcast, but I respect your system so
Thank
much.
you.
I love that,
Thank
man. I love that.
appreciate that.
Yeah. You ready for the next question?
Let's hit it.
Awesome. Did you?
I think I asked that one.
You said you had it. No, I think. Yeah, I think you asked it. So, what do you value most in a friendship?
What do I value most in a friendship? I think holding, having a standard. If I had to pick one thing, it would be having a standard for yourself, a high standard for yourself that you know would be challenging to hit, and attempting to hit it. You know what I mean? Like, not allowing yourself or not allowing somebody to, like, I'm never friends with people who just don't try in life, you know what I mean? Or who settle, just at all, ever, never, ever, like ever. And so it's not that they have to like, I want to be a millionaire, none of that. It's like, you know, having a goal, like I want to do this in life and here's how I'm going to get there. And also having a goal for like morals too, like having like I have this set of morals and I stick to this, you know what I mean? And stuff like that, rather than just kind of coasting like, this is right today, wrong tomorrow, or I know this is wrong, but I'm still gonna do it. And so having setting a standard, I think, is a good way to umbrella term it. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to pick one. Like I have a
is.
good like 3 in my mind where I could really pick one out of these 3. The first one that strongly came to mind that I still agree with is how do you treat somebody you've never met before? Like just how do you treat strangers in general? If you go out to a restaurant, how are you gonna treat the waiter? You know what I mean? But it's second. I mean, I could also have one of my answers is what was I gonna say? It was kind of like being able to understand the nuances and things, as in like they're not trying to talk in black and white talk all the time. Like it's either completely it's either right or wrong. You know, there's almost everything in this whole world is more than just being like right or wrong or just one side or the other. You know what I mean? So I highly value. I guess I wouldn't say it's my most important. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really highly value like being able to like understanding that there's nuance in things and being able to talk about them. And then I guess, but if I had to choose one of all of them, it would probably be my same answer as relationships as well. It's just communication. Like that's a very simple answer, but that's definitely if that's the one I would choose as most important.
Gotcha.
Is communication for sure.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm forgetting.
Yeah, so I think.
Am I up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So you ask. Wait, right? What do you value most in a friendship? Yeah.
What is your most treasured memory?
What is my most treasured memory? In 4th grade, I solved a Rubik. No.
It's crazy that it's always the first thing that comes to your mind, though.
Yeah, I guess
that's crazy.
It's probably most treasured memory. It's probably in, I'd say either, I can't remember exactly, it was either 6th or 7th grade. So, of course me and Alexander were friends, like we're still talking, but we didn't go to the same school at this point. And I'd had a birthday, and for that birthday I had wanted to do, I'd seen this game room where you could rent it out for the entire night, and so you could do like a full overnight trip with your friends.
Oh, yeah.
And as you guys know, if you watched the last podcast, he has a hard time with staying up overnight, you know what I mean?
Oh, I remember this, bro.
Yeah.
I remember this.
And this isn't part of like the memory. It's in the memory, but it's not like the memory itself.
Yeah,
I do remember you like coming there. I know, I love it because you tried your hardest to have a good time, but you were just sitting there. You're just like this. I just want to go home and sleep. Like with my, just want to go. Just pick me up, Mom. Please pick me up.
Dad picked me up. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
But it's probably just that night in general of just and being able to invite all my friends overnight, and it's every game you can think of. You know, one person's playing Fortnite, one person's playing Rocket League. There's Mortal Kombat over here.
Yeah, was
you know what I mean?
Thing back then?
It was like 7th grade, so it was either that year or the year after that Fortnite was like when people started getting into it.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2018 was when like I remember it being popular in school, but 2017 is when I first got it. October 2017, like Gold Trooper, Skull Trooper skins back in that time.
I do remember that actually.
Yeah, but then I took a break. We won't talk about Fortnite. That's a whole conversation.
Yeah,
but that's probably my answer is my most treasured memory. What about you?
If I had to pick one. Oh, really? Wow. If I had to pick one, I think. I don't know if this is my most treasured memory, but it was the first one that came to mind. And I can't really decide, so I'm going to pick this one. When I was a kid, like really young, like before school even started.
Oh, did you go to preschool?
Oh, I can't even remember. I have no idea.
Before consciousness.
I may have. BC, before consciousness.
It's funny.
And so I did, my dad would always play with me and my sister with this big green ball. We would literally call it a big green ball, and we just would pass it in the basement for a long time. And I don't know, that's the one for me. You know, just those memories with my father in that house that we had to sell. Anyways, that's the one.
I got you. I think I'm next, but let me see how many more we got in this set.
We have a lot more.
Because we're already at an hour here, but if we got 1 or 2 more left in this set, then we'll knock them out real
We could do a 2-parter.
I think it will be because we're not even halfway yet.
Let's do a 2-parter.
We got a lot more.
Stay tuned for the next week's episode to do Why We Fell in Love Part 2 or whatever the title is.
We barely even started set 2, so I'm good to call it if you'd like to.
Let's do one more and then we'll call it.
Bet. You ready? What is your most terrible memory?
Oh my goodness!
Thank you guys for
that's not an. Thank you guys for watching.
Exactly.
That's a tough one, dude.
All right.
Terrible memory.
Yeah. Most terrible memory.
Pressure washing? No, I'm kidding.
Really?
No, not at all. Terrible memory.
Yeah, I don't know. While you're thinking though, I'll tell you. Well, you hurt your back pressure washing, right? Because we were talking about that on podcast. So I was playing my video game yesterday, and I tweaked my back a little bit, and I have so much more like respect for you
Dude.
now that I hurt my back. Like
Yeah.
we're friends. Like we're equals now. Like we're brothers in this battle. You know, we got a common enemy. Keep thinking of your answer while I'm talking, by the way.
I'm trying, bro. I'm
but
trying.
we got a common enemy now. We both got the back pain. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be. That's why I choose 30-year-old body for the rest of my life, because
I basically have over a 30-year-old body right now. But
yeah.
so my most terrible memory,
True.
I'm gonna define terrible as what I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll do the memory that was most my mistake out of anything I've ever done ever. You know what I mean?
I think compared to like other conversations, I don't really mind this terrible being kind of subjective, like whatever you think terrible means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your worst feeling.
A lot of terrible. I mean, there's obviously like objectively terrible, and then there's like I'm just gonna say what I felt like the worst thing I ever did. Well, maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know. I'm gonna say this one that comes to mind. Who knows whether
go
it's so when I was younger, I think in like 6th grade or something, I was fishing with 2 dudes who were like, yeah, and then I got so upset, and this is when I had like an anger management like problem in like 6th grade, and I like took both of their, I can't remember if I was with both of them or just one of them, and I like took their fishing rods and I threw them both in the pond, bro.
Wow.
And then I had to go apologize to their parents and everything, and their parents were so nice and so respectful about it. And bro, that one was like, that was when I realized like, okay, I have a problem with this anger.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was mine.
That sets your path down to anger management.
Yeah,
No,
went to
you never did
therapy.
that, right?
No, I'm kidding.
Totally jokes.
I'm kidding. But yeah, what about you?
So my answer would probably, believe it or not, 5th grade Rubik's Cube competition, guys. Now, as you clearly know by now, 4th grade was amazing, right? Like, most successful I've ever been, and won the whole competition. 5th grade, I was number 1 seed. I had that thing in the bag. I'm not even going to make too many excuses, because
It's crazy because you've talked about this on the pod before.
Yeah, I have talked about it. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I have. But it was just the worst combination of unscrambling that he could have possibly done on that Rubik's Cube that he did before he gave it to me. So I barely lost, and I remember walking out of the auditorium just like, my mom's sitting there like she's got her shoulder around her arm around my shoulders, like trying to console me, and I just kept crying that whole day. So that's probably, I don't know, it genuinely was terrible, like one of the most terrible in my life, if not most terrible.
Yeah. That's interesting. I just want to say this real quick to put emphasis on how bad he was, bro. I asked him about the Rubik's Cube because he was hyping this Rubik's Cube competition up. We went to the same school in 5th grade and we never did it again.
Actually, when we met.
Yeah, we met in 5th grade, and then he was hyping this up, and so after the Rubik's Cube, which I didn't even go, I don't know, I didn't care, but that's the reality. Is that I asked him how it went, and then he just looked at me and then walked away, and he just ignored me for the rest of the day, bro. Can you believe that?
I think this is a great place to end the podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't want to talk about this anymore, so let's just end this. Do you have anything left to say?
Well, next week is going to be part 2 of the same thing. We're just going to go through the rest of the questions, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Bye. All right, I really enjoyed that one. I like having a lot of the like structured questions.
Me too. That was fun. I do that.
I thought it would be a good podcast.
Yeah.
Do it anyways, like off the pod, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to do thumbnail pictures before we leave.
Cool.